all is well. Not back in school yet, so planning to go back to school this fall. So
Yeah, a few months.
That's right. Wanted to get the oldest out of school, out of high school.
Yeah.
And that should free up some capacity for me. So, good, man.
Cool.
All right, why are we here today?
All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about patience, forbearance, which essentially bleeds over into endurance. Fancy sounding words. So forbearance is a type of patience. So if you got this huge umbrella that's patience, forbearance would be one little thing under it. You know what I mean? So forbearance would be having the ability to do something but restraining from doing it. So it also bleeds over into self-control.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when the people surrounding you, you know, your circle, if they're constantly come to you, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Well, you know what? You might be able to do all of these tasks, but is it good for your mental clarity or for your spiritual state to try to do everything?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'm able to do it, but should I restrain myself from doing it? Because I don't need you to rely on me to do this for you all the time. Things like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it bleeds over to endurance, because when you're talking about patience, you're not just talking about sitting on your hands while God does everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have some tasks to carry out. You still have some responsibility, but we carrying out these responsibilities with our faith intact, keeping our faith intact, which produces endurance, because you're going through some things while this is going on.
Yeah, faith while you go through it. And so you mentioned forbearance. So forbearance is one of the fruit of the Spirit. So we started down this series earlier this year. So we've covered and fruit of the Spirit is New Testament, comes out of Galatians 5:22-23. So I'll read it real quick. So and this is the NIV, New International Version. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law.
That's right.
So we wanted to spend some time today really talking about forbearance as one of the fruit of the Spirit. So we did cover love, peace is one of them, and then we did self-control. Yeah.
Yes,
so forbearance is kind of right in that same category. So you mentioned the self-control is a part of it, but really patience, just knowing that God is with you, but maybe you haven't seen the full fulfillment of the promise yet.
Yes.
So just being able to withstand that time. So how are you handling that time before promise ultimately, and then fulfillment? So forbearance is one of the fruit of the Spirit. So evidence of the spiritual life, relationship with God. You'll see it in things like forbearance.
Yes.
So so anything more about just the definition you've seen about forbearance?
So when we were talking about it, I jumped into that strongest concordance.
Yep.
So I guess that's the newest
one. You don't have one, get one.
Yeah, you ain't got one, get one. And so, you know, with the concordance, you can look up a word and it tells you everywhere that word appears in the Bible, which is pretty cool when you're talking about doing research, things like that. Like, what does the Bible say about so-and-so? When you look up so-and-so and you find those verses and you read it for yourself and see what God is saying about these things. So the term forbearance only shows up in the New Testament like maybe 3 or 4 times. In the New Testament, you see the term patience quite more often.
Yeah.
But as we're saying, they both bleed over into endurance, because quite often when you see patience, it's talking about enduring some things.
Oh yeah.
You know, as far as, like I said, going through these trials, but keeping my faith in God while I'm going through these trials.
Yeah, in the middle of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. So, all right. So, you know, obviously the Bible is a long collection of books, 66 books. You know, in terms of the Old Testament, so we thought we would talk about just some character examples where we saw forbearance.
Yes.
So obviously the story of Israel, very long, and God was with them the entire time. But as I was thinking about just character examples in particular, when it comes to forbearance, Joseph came to mind. So Joseph, one of the patriarchs of the family. So Joseph had a long, difficult journey. He knew early on he had the 2 visions, 2 dreams, so he knew he was called by God early on. He decided to share his visions and didn't turn out so well with him, right. So he ends up being sold into slavery.
By his brothers.
He ends up in the Potiphar's house. He ends up in prison. So it's a long stretch of time, man, from when he has these dreams, these visions where he's going to be elevated by God, this, terrible story, right, that you would see from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But through all of that, he kept his faith, he kept his commitment to God, commitment to the promises. I know he was in prison 2 years.
Yeah, he was in Potiphar's house. So Potiphar was basically like, what we would call the folk that protect the president.
Security? No, I don't
Yeah, the CIA or whatever.
I don't
Not the CIA.
know.
But yeah, basically he'd be one of the guys with the earpieces protecting the president. So Potiphar would be, the king's guard, among the king's guard or whatever. And yeah, he was a slave in there, and he got elevated in there. He had favor, up to the point to where, Potiphar's wife lied on him. Then he was thrown in prison.
Yeah.
So think about being the number one guy in this guy's household. Besides Potiphar, he put Joseph in charge of everything.
Yeah.
He's like, I trust you to charge basically everything except for my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he does nothing wrong and ends up in jail in a worse situation. And so, yeah, man, I mean, it was, when he got sold, he was a teenager.
Yeah.
When he got sold as a teenager, I think he was 32 when he became prime minister.
Yeah. So good point.
Quite,
so ends up
quite
being,
a ways.
Ends up being prime minister.
Yeah.
So Pharaoh calls him up. He's in prison. It's an incredible story. We actually have an episode about Joseph, but ends up being prime minister. He ends up saving his family. It's an incredible story. It's late Genesis, book of Genesis. But that's a great example of just forbearance, endurance, patience, as well as keeping his discipline, keeping the faith in the trials.
Yeah, he even used the quote when that woman was coming after him. It was like, how could I do such a thing and sin against God? Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity to kind of turn away from it, but he kept
yes.
faith.
If there was ever an excuse to turn away from God, Joseph had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So.
But imagine if he would have quit, man. Just how much of a difference. I mean, preserved the lineage.
They've been wiped out.
Yeah, he preserved the
I
lineage.
mean, like not only his family, but Egypt, all of that would have been wiped out due to the famine.
That's right. That's right. So he's elevated real quickly by Pharaoh, but it was, after the years of just the forbearance and patience working through that.
Yep, that's right.
All right, so Joseph is one. Another J, Jeremiah. Jeremiah has a book in the Bible, so it's a prophetic book. Pretty long book. He's, one of the prophets. Isaiah, I think, is the longest one, but Jeremiah, well, I don't know which one's longer, but
They're both long.
Two very long books.
They're very long, and they right by each other.
You might be the longest. I don't know. Somebody check me on that.
Yeah.
But so Jeremiah has this call early in life. So before you were born, I set you apart.
Yes.
He's called to prophesy against Israel. He actually warns them of the Babylonian exile. They don't listen to him. He actually witnesses the fellow Israelites go, into Babylonian exile.
Yep.
He ends up in a courtyard, just a very long book, just fighting with people. But through all of that, he kept the faith. So it was a difficult message that he had to relate to the people. Difficult time for the nation of Israel. But he's just another example of a character example of forbearance in the Old Testament.
Yeah. And Isaiah is the longest one. Isaiah 66, Jeremiah 52.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've read them both.
Yes.
You were reading the prophets.
Man.
I remember you were reading the prophets.
I remember getting through with the first one.
And you had to lament.
And then I had to go through the other one. Like, man. And Lamentations came out right time.
Right after that.
Oh, man, yeah, dude.
And who's the third major prophet? Ezekiel?
Yes.
1, 2, 3 major. And then 12 minor prophets. So, yeah. So it was never easy to have a prophetic message, but to have that call from God and be able to hold on to that through what he witnessed, he still held on to it and kept the faith in the midst of it. So another example of forbearance, where he doesn't end up being the prime minister. He ends up just kind of off in a courtyard somewhere.
Yeah.
But just another example.
Yeah. Every story doesn't end with praise and position and title. Sometimes just being able to make it through. That's the success.
That's right.
You survive and your faith is intact.
That's right. That's right.
You might get like the house, when Jesus had the parable about the builders or whatever. Like the house might get battered and beaten by the waves, but man, as long as the foundation's solid, it's gonna stand.
Firm foundation.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so those are just some Old Testament examples. Obviously, the nation of Israel is a great example of forbearance. So just their whole story are
man.
just
Any piece of it.
just long story.
Any piece of it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, I got some Bible verses to
Old Testament.
yeah. Well, a couple of my new ones old.
Okay.
So
Go for it.
I'll jump into the Old Testament one first. That's gonna be Psalms 27 and 14, and this kind of ties in what we were just saying. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Yes, wait for the Lord. So in this statement, he's telling you twice to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Not just sitting around, God do it. I ain't gonna, I'm gonna take my hands off and I'm gonna do nothing while God do it. It also speaks to being encouraged. Encourage yourself.
Hell yeah.
You should be encouraged because of the fact that your faith is intact.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who you are and whose you are, like a lot of people like to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We know who's in control. So take courage in the fact that, like Jesus said, he's overcome the world.
Oh yeah.
So if my faith is in Jesus and he's overcome the world, we can't lose.
That's right.
Last time I checked, he's undefeated.
Undefeated, man.
Yeah. So,
you can call it.
Yeah,
that's
all I'm saying.
Cool. I got one that's Old Testament as well. I've mentioned it a couple times on the pod, maybe more than a couple times, but I don't know why I'm stuttering.
Quite a few. It's all right, man.
So Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. So definitely been an important one for me. Just being still and knowing that I'm not in control ultimately. So I'm following behind. It's my job to stay in alignment.
Yes.
And I have that accountability, but it's way more happening than I can control. So the best thing I can do is just be still and just know that it's in God's hands. So
that's good.
That's Old Testament as well.
Yeah.
And it's important. I carry it. I wear it, man. I wear it. So
that's the foundation of our faith, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So next I'll go to James 1 verses 2 through 4. Consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Mm-hmm. So as we talked about, patience and forbearance kind of bleeding into endurance because you're enduring something. These trials and these temptations and things like that, we're called to go through it with our faith, and again, with our faith intact. So what's the thing to do? What do we have to do? We have to stay grounded. Mm-hmm. We got to stay rooted through these fires, so that we can make it through the fire.
That's right.
And then once you come through the fire, then you begin to see the fruit from the endurance.
That's right.
You don't see it in the middle.
Yeah.
And you don't. Honestly, you may not see it until you're way beyond the trial.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things we go through, we're not even going to know why we went through it on the side. So, but our trust is in God.
That's right.
And it says, all things work together for the good of those who believe
Romans,
in Him.
man. That's
who
Romans,
believe in Him and are called according to His
Romans,
purpose.
so.
Am I?
You said Romans is not now. I'm saying
okay.
In the book.
Yeah, in the book. I got you. I ain't picking up what you're putting down.
That's
man.
all good.
I got you. Yes, sir.
All right.
Then we got 1 Corinthians 13 and 4.
Yeah.
This is strong. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. Love does not brag. It is not arrogant. And usually when you hear this taught, you hear this being taught about marriage.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
But
a lot of times you hear that at weddings.
But what if I were to say this is in all relationships? Mm. If you're my friend, and I hope you love your friends, I should have a level of patience with you. So when you're going through a season and things shift a little bit, because sometimes you go through a heavy season and you can't do all things at the same efficiency that you used to.
Yeah.
I can't pick up every time you call right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might take me a week to get back to you. That's just what it is right now. Love is patient. That's the first thing. Love is patient. And beyond patience, I'm still going to be kind to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. Beyond that, I'm not going to get jealous. What there to be jealous about?
Yeah.
So this gives us some really good steps. It doesn't brag and it's not arrogant. I shouldn't be. You did this wrong. I did this right. I told you.
Yeah.
Pull a Paul. I told you I was gonna get shipwrecked.
Yeah.
You know, I really like how it lays it out, kind of step by step.
Yeah.
Patient, kind, not jealous. We're not gonna brag, and we're not gonna be arrogant.
Yeah. And a little bit of connection to the fruit. So kindness is another fruit of the Spirit as well.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. I had one. You mentioned Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Paul is actually a good character witness, a character example from the New Testament.
Yes.
So Paul, he was Israelite. He was actually commissioned to preach the gospel to the Gentiles.
Yes.
So he has this encounter with risen Christ, the road to Damascus. He was formerly persecuting the Christians, but God calls him to go preach the gospel to the Gentiles. And so you can imagine what kind of message that was, right? Paul goes out to persecute. No, Saul goes out to persecute the Christians, and Paul comes back. And they're like, what in the world is happening to you? So then,
people ain't even believe it.
That's right.
Like, he came back to Jerusalem preaching Jesus.
Right.
After killing these Jesus people. And they ain't believe him.
Can you imagine?
Dude, like, it took, it's fresh in my mind because I just went through Acts.
Yeah, that's right.
But Barnabas, the son of encouragement, he basically had to vouch for Paul and be like, nah, what he's saying, I mean, it's true in his heart.
Yeah.
And he had to vouch for him and bring him into the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Because, Paul and Barnabas went out and did the first mission together.
Yeah.
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 Matter of fact, possibly the first two before they split.
Yeah.
Before they split because of for John.
Yeah. Paul had 3 missionary tours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sure enough.
Acts, man, it's incredible.
Yeah.
They all incredible.
It's so you know how the Bible is split up into categories. Old Testament has its categories like the history of the Old Testament. You got the law, the minor prophets. Well, yeah, all prophets. Yeah. And then you got poetry.
Yeah.
So in the New Testament, you got the Gospels, which are the eyewitness accounts, whatnot. Then Acts actually falls under the history of the New Testament.
Okay.
So because, where it picks up, Jesus is risen and he's going around teaching people.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's the 2nd chapter when they received the Holy Spirit. And then after
Pentecost.
that, yep. And then after that, they actually bring on some elders and all of that stuff. And then they start going out preaching. So, yeah, man, and actually, if you want to know about the Holy Spirit, read Acts. Yeah. 'Cause that's when the Holy Spirit comes in.
That's right.
Who promised the Holy Spirit? Who asked for the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
So, it's a whole lot in there.
It is.
It's a lot.